it'll go off and do this forever, and it'll appear on that initial list, and we can manage to switch them off if we wanted to later on. Next up down here in operations is mobility. Now, we had lots of movies about this feature, and we can do migrate, live partition mobility, validate, or recover if it's got stuck while trying to do that operation. I'm not going to show you the details in here. I tend to go into evaluate because that does a check to see if it's going to work or not. This LPAR has 2 RAID adapters, so we can't do the live partition mobility, but we can show you a failure. Let's go to the other Power 8 machine in here. We can, if the machine is actually connected to a different HMC, actually put the remote HMC and how to log into the other HMC in here. We'll just do a quick validation here. It should say there's ghastly errors in here because it's using physical slots for exactly the right reason. Okay. Again, that's probably more of another movie to show you the details. But if you're pure virtual networks, disks, and DVDs, then you should be able to do live partition mobility. Down in here are the suspend operations. I don't tend to use these, so I won't demonstrate that. Configuration, this is a big important thing. These profiles is what the initial profile is what you create when you create your virtual machine for the first time. So if we click on here, this one, that's why I chose it, actually has a bunch of profiles. We can see the active profile up in here, normal with internal SSD, that's the one we last activated. If I started the LPAR and select that, then this would be the normally selected one in here. But if we just click on one of these profiles, it will bring out the details of it, and this looks pretty much like we were looking at the properties, weren't we? The properties of a particular LPAR in here. This is where they're actually getting set when we start the LPAR up. And we've got the similar sorts of details in here. They're laid out slightly differently. We have the I/O, for example. In here, this is like the entire machine. We can see these 2 RAID controllers are the only required ones in here. The rest of the virtual adapters, so the disks that we're booting off, are coming in over here from the 2 VO servers that we use in the virtual network. If you want to change this default profile, it's a bit annoying. You can go in here and say, look, I want to change the default to this one, and then you're thinking, well, how do I do that? So this is one if we've done lots of dynamic changes to our logical partition. We actually want to save that in a new profile. That's how we do that. But if you want to change from the default to the last, this one up in here, the normal with internal SSDs, a little bit confusing. That's the one up in here, so we can change the default. Confuse the dickens out of me for the first time. It knows it's on the default, the other 2 I can change to. Let's actually just do that so I don't get confused if we want to put that up later on. Okay, so that's operations, manage profiles. I don't tend to use the other 2, that's the smaller one we just done. At a lower level, we've seen already these adapters, see the configuration, nicely explained. Dynamic partitioning, pretty important in here. CPUs and memory work much the same sort of, operate much the same way. The physical adapters we can pull into the logical partition. This is dynamic, so it's while it's running we can do these operations. And we can do virtual adapters, so we can create a new virtual adapter to the virtual I/O servers inside the machine and do that. SRIOV, big subject, we'll cover that some other time. But if we quickly look at probably the most common one you actually want to do is the processors. Okay, so at the moment we've got 3 processing units and 4 CPUs that we're allowed to spread across. We're guaranteed 3 out of the 4 we can actually see. You can see here the maximums are 4 and 4, so I can't go any higher in this. I can take it down a bit. I can take this down, take this to 2.5 guaranteed CPU. The weight factor, I could increase that. If we're making drastic changes, particularly with memory, then we'd actually want to give it a bit more time. If you're taking memory out of an LPAR, it has to page it all out. Given 64 gigabytes of memory takes quite a long time to actually page out, so we can give it an extra threshold so that it doesn't cancel the operation too early. modifying the CPUs, and we can see here the processing units have already changed down to the 2.5, nice and quick. Similar sorts of things happen. Physical adapters are a little bit more complicated because we get that map of everything that's in the box, and if they're not assigned, then we can put them in. You can give it an empty slot, that's really useful. But there's some resources in here that are not assigned. Again, we can click on what we've got here, fiber channel adapters. Yeah, okay. That would arrive. The operating system doesn't know about that. On AIX, you run the config manager, and you'll find the extra resources. On Linux, it's a little bit more complicated. Typically, you run a script to go investigate your bus. Right, so we've covered those. Yes, Windows, the consoles, terminals. We can use this open terminal window in here to get a console onto the machine. This is really only of use if you haven't got the network working properly, or you've just installed it and you have to assign the network straight away. First thing I'm going to do. On different browsers these work or they don't work. They're called a vTerm, and I find the terminal emulation particularly painful to use, and I don't recommend it to anybody. And what we tend to use, let's give you an example here, is using PuTTY via the HMC to get the console. Okay, so here's PuTTY. You may have your own latest software for security reasons and things. Okay, so I'll give you the password. So remember that. In I go. Use this thing called